back to my channel. So today we're going to talk about things that you need to consider before committing to a master's degree or a postgraduate course. This video is designed for people who are looking or considering to further their studies into postgraduate studies, and just advice about the things that you need to really think about before embarking on your postgraduate journey. So my number one tip would be to research your course. It is so important that you understand what you're gaining from the course, what insight, what topics will you be studying, and it's important to also look at how they're going to examine you. Is it going to be through coursework? Is it going to be through end of year exams? Because what you don't want to do is to join a course where you're not happy with the way exams and coursework is being carried out, and sometimes the weighing of this. So some courses might say 100% coursework, whereas some may say 100% exam. And if you're someone who know that you have a strength in exam as opposed to coursework, you may really want to consider whether studying this particular course at this particular university is for you, and whether this course in general may be for you, or maybe there's even something similar out there that would be more tailored to your skill sets and abilities. At King's College London, I absolutely loved it there, and I recommend. I'm not paid to say this, but I did enjoy my experience thoroughly at King's College, and I studied contemporary history and politics. Now, when I made that decision, I can admit I didn't probably do as much research as I should have done about the course, but I did research the basics about the course, so I understood how we were going to be assessed, some of the modules that were being taught, and just some of the insight that we would gain into politics and contemporary history, and I was very happy with it. However, in terms of long-term goals, I knew that I wanted to go into policy, and now looking back, I wish I did do social policy, because in fact there were some modules that were actually in social policy and in contemporary history and politics. So that kind of modules that I really wanted to do because of contemporary history and politics, I could have easily had in my social policy master's degree. So it's important that you do research these things before you commit yourself to a course. Also look at whether the course is something that can also match with your long-term goals, like I stated beforehand, and see whether this course, if there's something similar that you can do to this course but maybe more suited to what you want to do or suited to your academic abilities. The second tip that I'd give to you guys is to think about your finances before you start a master's degree. Master's degrees are not like undergraduate studies where it's a basic rate of, I believe, when I was studying, £9,000. Postgraduate studies can cost anything up to a mortgage deposit. Yes, a mortgage deposit. I am not kidding you guys. I was seeing master's degrees for like 24k, 30k, and I said, wow, this can't be me, because I can't afford it. So sometimes finances actually can kind of narrow down the courses that you may want to study. But one thing I'd say to you guys is to, if you can, take some time out to kind of save money, to kind of put money aside for your master's degree, if you think that cost is going to be an important factor that may prohibit you from doing your dream course. Or what you could do is, like I said, maybe try find a course that is very similar to what you want to study, but you would still leave with the same skills, kind of the similar knowledge, and be able to work in that desired sector that you want to work in. But finances is something important that you need to consider, because a master's degree is very intense, and what you don't want to do is to be struggling with work and then having to have an additional full-time work to kind of support the master's degree, because it might be just too much for you. But what I did was I did a part-time job working in a restaurant while I did my master's degree, and because I could pick my hours at the restaurant and take them up, take them down, depending on my schedule or my rota during the term, it meant that I was able to kind of keep my priority being my studies and not my part-time job, which did really help a lot. And it meant that I was able to put the best that I possibly could into my degree. Especially if you're paying so much for a master's degree, you want to make sure that you put your absolute all into it. So finances is something that you have to consider. Are you going to have to get a part-time job? Can your postgraduate loan, can it cover the whole course? Travel, how are you going to get to and from uni? Are you going to live at your parents' house? Are you going to live at university accommodation? These are factors that you need to consider. But don't worry, don't be alarmed too much, because there are some schemes that you can apply to through the universities that can give you awards. So for example, at the University of Birmingham, where I did my undergraduate studies, they did have a kind of scheme that you could apply to if you were alumni, in which you would get £2,000 off your postgraduate degree. So there are schemes like that. There's probably a various amount of schemes out there for you. But make sure you do your research so that you can apply to them on time and get the best possible outcome. Another thing that you want to consider before committing to a master's degree is the actual university. I think it's so important to understand what the university culture is like, what the environment is like, how the teachers are like as well, how the lecturers are like. It is so important because you're going to have an intense year, so it's important that you're happy with the university that you're at and that there is enough support. One thing I love about King's College, guys, I love that university. I'm moving like I'm an ambassador for the uni, but yeah, I absolutely enjoyed it. Like, my lecturers were absolutely amazing. I'd go to them and they'd always be happy to help. They would do meetings with you. They would really unpick things if you had any questions. They were so helpful, and I think that really helps, especially with a master's degree. It's so demanding and it's quite difficult, but having a supportive system in place at your university really does make the difference, and you really feel that you can go in and smash your master's degree when you have an amazing support system and network at the university. So please research that. Make sure you're going to a university where you feel that you can be adequately supported. Another thing that you need to consider about a university as well is, what do they offer outside of academia? Because there's more to life than just academia. Like, do they give you skills on how to network? Do they help you with personal branding? Do they give you industry insights? So do they have talks where different people from different sectors come and talk to you guys about their profession, about their work, and how they balance it all? It's so important that you get this insight and you have the opportunities to hear these amazing, exciting stories from people, because it will really help you to narrow down kind of like your ideas about where you want to go in your career, in your journey, and how you may navigate this. So I think it's so important to look outside the academia as well and see if there's any opportunities for you to grow and develop as a professional or as a person as well. My last tip that I would also consider, and that I think you guys should consider, and that I think is so important, guys, is to do a master's degree because you want to do it. I feel like sometimes there can be so much pressure to keep up with the Jones because he and she is doing a master's, I must do a master's, or because she's doing this subject, I must do this subject. No, do what you feel is going to make you happy and make you have more opportunities, something that's going to open doors for you. If you believe a particular course is going to do that, go for it. But don't be doing a course because your friends said to do it or your parents said to do it, because they're not going to be the ones sitting those exams and doing the work for you. It's going to be down to you at the end of the day. So I think it's so important to pick a course that you do thoroughly enjoy and you do thoroughly love, but also think about the prospects of picking that course. Like I said to you guys, I wanted to go into policy. That's something that I really want to go into, and I picked contemporary history and politics. It's still valuable and it still has amazing skill sets that I've gained, but I do believe that maybe I could have done social policy as well, maybe looked into that as well before committing myself to the course that I'm doing. But overall, I do have no regrets because I do love my course. I did love my course, and I feel like I've grown as a person and I've learnt so much, and I loved the support I got from the members of staff. But yeah, I hope this short video has helped you and it will help you make decisions when thinking about your master's degree course. I will be doing a video, guys, on personal statements and how to ace a personal statement, because it's not like undergraduate studies where it's UCAS based. Every university has to have a personalized personal statement. So I really want to help you guys to help you on your postgraduate journey. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for my next one.